Hey guys, it's J19 brought to you another video, and today we're going to discuss what Hamaguchi has to say about pertaining about part 3. So if you guys are reading the title card, you guys probably know. But yeah, he talked about the upcoming, most anticipated thing that people have been asking for, Queen's Blood. Yes, Queen's Blood, the minigame, is on his mind, and he has some information to share as a little interview thing they did at the one social event they had, a gaming event. I forget what it's called. It starts with an O. You guys know what I mean. So with that said, if you guys want more Part 3 news, updates, reactions, feel free to like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notifications to stay notified when I upload these videos. And with that said, let's get right into it. This is what he had to say. He goes, yeah, I heard everybody's demand. Yeah, this is what he said. He said, we're not making a spin-off game or a game of its own right for Queen's Blood yet. Right? He said yet. So he's thinking about it, right? He's thinking about it. But what does this mean for part 3? He said, we do want to bring back Queen's Blood for part 3 in the next title. Which, this is amazing news, because everybody I didn't talk to, but everybody I've been watching talk about the game or like react to it while they're playing the game. I watch streams and stuff, and they're all loving it. They all love the Queen's Blood card game. I love it too. I didn't understand what the heck was going on. It took me a while to get going. I was like, holy crap, this is like the best minigame that Square's came up with the last 30 years, right? Or actually one of the best minigames in any video game, in my honest opinion. But anyways, he said he wants to bring it back. Not just that, he wants to revamp it. He wants to make it better. He wants to make improvements on it. It's already a great card game, but as you get towards the end, you only have to make a certain deck to defeat the final person, right? The final couple people, right? You got to build a deck to counter what they do, which is fine. You only have to run it was only like a couple strategy decks you have to run. Like either you get power based on buffs from your own character cards, or buffs from the other from the enemies, or if you weaken the enemies or the enemies get buffed, you get buffed, right? Or you destroy your own cards, you get buffed that way as well. So that was like the only way you can play towards like the end. I mean, you can go ahead and use like just basic cards that you get through packs and stuff like that. Just basic cards for, I'm going to say, about half the matches. You do have to be pretty good at knowledge of the game. I mean, because you are going to lose, right? You're going to have brick hands. You're going to have times where it's like, oh, darn it, I made a wrong move, so I lost this game, right? It's back and forth. How can they make expansion on this, right? I've been thinking about this a little bit for the last few hours to a whole day. I was thinking to myself, like, how can he revamp it, right? If you look at the cards, right? I wish I had a screenshot for you guys, but I'm not tech savvy, so we're going to deal with what I got now. But you guys know, if you play Queen's Blood, you see some cards. The cards have a 5 tile, right? A 5 row. It's like 5 rows and 5 columns, right? It's 5 by 5. We only play 3 by 5. I'm thinking to myself, it's like, this is all cool and dandy, but why would you have cards that take out 5? Some cards have a big spread. It's like, this don't work, because it takes up 5 by 5, not 5 by 3. So you have to be really strategy with it, right? Which is fine. How do you revamp it? Make the board bigger. Make it 5 by 5, right? Make it where you have to think about, okay, crap, I got 5 spaces, right? Or maybe you have to place, instead of giving you like 3 basic spots, maybe start from scratch, right? Maybe you only have 1 spot to put a card to start out, right? You just put a card there, and maybe you get 3 different spots, maybe just 2 different spots, right? Change up a little bit, make it more challenging, like that way. Or just make it just simple. You get 5 slots, pick your best 5, and try to win as many rolls as you can. And you can use those cards that take up a wild, ridiculous amount of spaces in different wicked ways, because it's like the Cusacalo card, right? The Cusacalo. It has like you get like 2 here, and then it goes 3, right? It just goes 2 spaces off the kitty corner, then it goes 3 spaces like kitty corner, and middle, right? You guys know what I mean. And it's like kind of weird, right? Even like the Skywheel card, right? It takes like a circle. It's like, that's cool and all, but you can only do like a couple of spots within the 3x5, right? So it's kind of like, how do I work this? Unless you put him like in the middle or bottom middle, right? Then you'd be like, oh, okay, so now it can attack the upper part, or maybe you do the upper part and it attacks the bottom. But what if they expand it by making the board bigger? That way you can use more cards. You can expand your strategy decks, right? You can expand your decks, right? Have more cards. Get more cards that have really wild like strategies to them. I love like the enfeebling your own cards. I didn't really do a whole lot of that. I thought that's pretty neat. I need to like work on a deck for that. But I thought it was pretty neat, right? You had enfeebling, enhancing, destroying your own cards, destroying your opponent's card, enfeebling theirs. Like, there's so much to this game, but you have so little board. Maybe what you can do is, since you got the 5x5 board, you can increase the size of your deck. Instead of 15, maybe go 20, 25 cards, right? Make it where you have 10 card deck. I think 20 is a good sweet spot. 25 is about the limit, I would put it. That's for me. Queen's Blood is an amazing game. Now, another thing I like to see them do is like expand the amount of people you can play against, right? Maybe a lot of NPCs will play a card game with you. Maybe just be like Final Fantasy VIII, where you just hit square or hit X or triangle, right? You talk to them and be like, you can talk, say, you want to have a conversation, or you want to challenge some cards. Be like Final Fantasy VIII and stuff like Final Fantasy IX, or even Blitzball, right? You can not challenge them to Blitzball, but you can ask them to say, hey, maybe I can sign them to my squad, right? Now, for Queen's Blood, you get my drift. I think that'd be amazing. Now, here's the curious part about the Queen's Blood conversation, because he says, we have more information to share with you soon. Just like, and he mentioned that, like, he's hinting like pretty soon, like pretty quick here, we'll talk more about the Queen's Blood, right? And he goes, I just want you all, and he also said this too, this is why I want to make a video, it's not just Queen's Blood. He also stated, and he teased, and he's like, I want you guys to be confused about the ending and all that just a little while longer. It's like they have a plan. Call me crazy. My first initial thought is like they're gonna do it just like Rebirth for Part 3. We're gonna have a teaser in 2025, like around Summer Games Fest or something, or maybe they'll have like a 29th anniversary event, right? Not 28th, right? Maybe they'll do like a 28th anniversary event about Final Fantasy VII, but it kind of don't make any sense. Like 28 is kind of weird. 25 makes sense, like back in 2022. It made a lot of sense, right? The 25th anniversary. That's a big number. It's a quarter of a century. So I'm thinking, they can do that route, right? That's my initial thoughts. Like teaser in 2025, we get a full-blown trailer on Summer Games Fest 2026. The game comes out in 2027, so which means we get trailers every couple of months leading up to launch with some interviews, some updates, blog posts. But if Hamaguchi wants to just hold out just a little bit while longer, he says pretty soon here we can start. I want to start talking about stuff, right? Like he's hinting that they're ready to talk about Part 3 sooner than people think, than we all thought. I thought maybe we're about a year away before they even want to start talking about Part 3. But like he said, Part 3, most of the work for Part 3 is already done. They said back in spring? Or maybe just like before spring started, that they was going to start doing voice recording work shortly after, like just shortly down the road. Like it's like soon, shortly soon. And that means to me that they got most of the scenarios done. They just got to do the voice acting work for it. They get the voices for the characters done. Just put all the pieces together. Maybe they got to work on polishing the game up a little more. They probably got. I would not be shocked if they got the whole world built. They got the final dungeon done. They probably got the final scenarios of how this game's gonna end. Maybe they got that all figured out already. Like Square, they got all the events from Midgar, remake and rebirth. They got all that assets, all that work. And since they're not gonna be putting it on the PlayStation 6 as a launch title, if this game's coming out in 2027, they got most of the work done. So it does make a little sense now that holy crap, they could actually start talking about this game, maybe like a blog post or maybe on like the Square Enix website, not website, but maybe on that, maybe on the Square Enix website talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3. Maybe we get a teaser trailer for the 28th anniversary of FF7, which is in January for Japan. Who knows? Like, this is like freaking nuts that he just out of the blue, he just, hey, I just want you guys to be a little more confused, just a little bit longer. Just hold pat, and he can't wait to talk more about Queen's Blood being in Part 3 and other stuff, like, soon, like, shortly, like, soon, shortly. Like, I don't know how he worded it, but it sounded to me that they're almost ready to start talking about Part 3 already. And it's crazy, because Rebirth just came out February 29th of this year. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, the game's been out for almost 6 months, right? Not quite. It's like 5.5 months, right? But still, you think about it, it's like, yeah, they've been working on Part 3 for a while now. They've been working on Part 3 since before Part 2 was out. Like, they had Nomura and a small team working on Part 3 to get that started while they finished up Part Rebirth, right? The marketing and stuff. Finished polishing up that game. And I tell you what, if you haven't played Rebirth, you're so worried about like the textures and stuff like that, and like the performance and stuff like that, I highly recommend you guys, if you have a PlayStation 5, play it now. You can play on graphics mode, or you can play on performance sharp. I tell you what, the game looks significantly better than it did at launch. They worked their butts off with all the latest updates. The game looks absolutely bonkers on a 4K TV. So if you want to play it, I recommend it. Like, if you play Remake, you love Remake, even though the textures and stuff on the PS4. If you play the PS5 version of Remake, Rebirth looks even better. Now, like, it's a perfect time to get in, because I tell you what, if Nomura and them are ready to start hinting and start talking about Part 3 a little bit, more and more, I tell you what, folks, it's time to get ready, because 2025 is going to probably start the marketing a little bit. We'll get a little teaser and probably some interviews and stuff. And then 2026 is going to be, let's ramp it up, right? So anyways, yes, they also talked about how Yuffie's going to have more lines recorded. Well, duh, she's in your party. They talked about just some special moments and like Rebirth and stuff like that. We don't have to get in details. If you play Rebirth, I'm not going to. If you already know, you know. But Ever Crisis, I want to let you guys know. A lot of you who never played Ever Crisis, it's canon to FF7R trilogy. I can't believe it, but yeah, a mobile game is actually canon to the remake project. How? It's something to do with Sephiroth. What's his goal? What's his plan? Why does he wants to carry around this stuff? Doesn't mean that Sephiroth's gonna be redeemed. He's gonna say, "Holy crap, I made a mistake. I gotta right the wrongs." No. He's twisted, right? He's so far gone. He thinks that what he's doing is gonna fix his problems, but it's not gonna be good for the planet. It's gonna be good for the people of the planet, right? That's why Cloud's like, hey, just because he says he's gonna save the planet doesn't mean he's a good guy. He's doing it for himself. He's doing it, and he'll hurt millions of people, billions, right, on planet Gaia. So, and you got Genova still there, right? Genova's not gone. So it's like, Part 3 is going to be bonkers. I can't wait. I had to get this out. I had to talk about Queen's Blood a little bit, what I want to see. I love it how we got character cards. Dude, I can't wait. I want to keep talking about Rebirth, but I don't want to make this video super long. I know a lot of you guys don't really like my long videos, so I'm going to try to keep them short. But just when I talk about Rebirth, when I talk about Part 3, I just can't help but glow. I can't help to just talk about it. And it's just like, stuff is happening. Behind the scenes, I think stuff is happening. I think Hamaguchi and them are probably just, they're polishing things up. I think they're getting ready for like the 28th anniversary of FF7R. I mean, not FF7R, but the original FF7. And I think we might get a teaser. We might get a concept art or something. I think that Yeah, it's early. It's like, how can they talk about part 3 when Rebirth is not even a year old? Well, when you have most of the work done, you can make a trailer. Square's not afraid to tease or show a trailer for their upcoming game and get people hyped talking about it, because let's think, a lot of us has already beaten the game, right? We already beaten Rebirth. We already we already like broke down the ending and all that, which I cracked the code. Everybody's cracked the code by now. But we're waiting for part 3 to see the grand finale. So, and the devs know that. They know that they don't want to take too much time developing the final game. They don't want to take 5 to 6 years on it. They want to get out as soon as possible with all the assets they got done. They got to rearrange some world stuff for the high win. Vincent is playable. I know I already went through all this in my other video about what's been confirmed so far. If you guys haven't checked it out, feel free to look through my videos at FF7R and trilogy and stuff like that for part 3. It's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be insane. I think people said there's no way that part 3 can outdo part 2. Like, it's just like how can Rebirth outdo what Remake did? It did, right? Every single game they have exceeded our expectations. Everybody thought there's no way Remake can be that good. Hey, turned out pretty good. It sold over 7 million copies so far. There's no way how they can get Rebirth how they can make Rebirth even better. I know it's the open world and stuff. How can they expand the characters? How they gonna make the story? Dude, once you figure out the ending, once you get past like the part where it's like confusing, and just the magical ride itself, you think to yourself, they did it again. They exceeded my expectations. And I tell you what, I'm gonna leave it here right at this last thing. Keeping back in mind, what if we get done playing part 3 and we look back at the trilogy and go, how's this possible? How did they remake or reimagine a beloved title that, of course, had a lot of controversy, right? It's rocking the boat a lot. A lot of peers didn't like it. A lot of people were on the fence about it, right? A lot of people just said, you know what? I'm going to jump on board with Rebirth. And they're on board. Are they on board with everything? No. But they love the game so far as I know. Like, a lot of people jumped back on board. This game didn't sell 5-10 million copies like a lot of people think it was going to. But it sold enough. I think it sold enough. Once it comes to PC, it's going to get a big boost. It's going to sell millions of copies on PCs. Everybody wants to play the PC version because they can play in the highest fidelity ever. They can have mods for the foliage, all that stuff, right? I can't wait to play the PC version of this game. While waiting for part 3. Like, but get back to my original idea, thought. Just keep in the back in mind, what if part 3, at the end of it, everybody's like, holy crap, how did they make each game exceed our expectations? I think, even though Rebirth blew our minds off the wall, our minds are gone to outer space, what if part 3 does everything Rebirth does well, and they say, okay, how can you make that 5 times better? Just think about it. World traversal, 5 times better. Terrain actions, 5 times better. Enemies, maybe we have even more enemy variety. Maybe we have better, not minigames. Let's say maybe we have better VR battle. Maybe we won't have VR battles. Maybe they'll change their minds and say, hey, you know what? Let's make it where they have to go out explore each region again and find secret stuff, right? Maybe secret dungeon bosses stuff. You never know. Throwing it out there. Anyways, it's a long video. I know you guys would probably say, hey, is he almost done talking? Love Rebirth. Love FF7. It's one of my favorite franchises of all time. Yes, FF7 is its own franchise. Yes, it's part of FF7. I mean, FF7. Part of Final Fantasy franchise as a whole. That franchise is bigger. But over the years, Final Fantasy VII has become its very own franchise. Its very own IP. It is Square Enix bread and butter. It's their swan song. I think a lot of these devs, especially the older ones like Katase, Toriyama, Nomura, not Hamaguchi, but like Nobu and Amatsu, all those guys, right? I think this is their swan song. Katasu's already said after they get done with part 3, he is done developing games. He's probably gonna take a step back from leadership, of development. He's probably gonna just do his own thing, not do his own thing, but like just gonna oversee everything, right? He's in charge. Like he took the the baton for like the Final Fantasy department and stuff like that. You guys know what he took up, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. But it's just like Hamaguchi he got promoted. He's he's the head guy now for like this project, and it's just you can tell that Square really loves his ideas, his direction. I would not be shocked that in a future Final Fantasy game, after the trilogy's done, that he is a director of a mainline title, because him being a massive fan of FF7 and him being able to be a director for the project here and being like the lead guy other than Toriyama, he's the co-director. But yeah, you can definitely tell that Hamaguchi loves FF7. All these guys do, and you can tell they put a lot of heart and soul in this. And I can't wait for part 3. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of Queen's Blood being on part 3. What do you guys want to see? Like, what's your ideas of what they can do to revamp it? Let me know everything, and I just can't wait. I can't wait for this game, everything. So anyways, what I said, hope you guys have a wonderful day, wonderful night. Keep on keeping on. And let me know how hype you are for part 3. How soon do you think we're going to get like a teaser or a concept art for the part 3? I cannot wait. So anyways, what I said, hope you guys have a wonderful day, wonderful night. I'll have links in the description below to my Twitch, Twitter, and Discord. Feel free to follow, join, like, all that wonderful jazz. Let's help get my YouTube channel up there. I want to try to get like 500 subscribers soon. Start pushing this thing. I love you guys for all the love and support as always, and I hope I keep pushing content out for you guys. Especially, hey, part 3 starts rolling. Expect part 3 videos coming up. So anyways, this is exciting. Can't wait for Queen's Blood. Can't wait for part 3. Hamaguchi, you're a genius. Nomura, all those guys from Creative Biz Unit 1. Keep on keeping on. You guys kick some butt. You guys rock. This has been a one hell of a journey. I can't wait for part 3, guys. And with that said, I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Take care.